Welcome again to Meet Our Ex Success Story podcast. And I'm Brooke, and I'm here today with Roger from New Zealand, who's going to share with us his carnivore journey success story. Hi, Roger. How are you?
Good, thank you. Kia ora from New Zealand.
Yeah. Thank you so much for taking the time to share with us.
That's quite right.
What's
It's
going
great.
on with
Thank
you?
for asking us.
Yeah. So, what? It was great talking to your friend Josh,
Yeah.
and and it's nice to meet you. And let me just ask you, what was going on for you before you started eating a carnivore way of life?
So I came to the carnivore via a competition-based approach. So I am a natural competitive bodybuilder and had been dieting down and been walking on the treadmill, getting the steps in. And I started coming across these carnivore podcasts and Dr. ShawnBaker and Paul Solidero and all the guys have actually made it to New Zealand due to the World Wide Web. And it's like, you know what? This could be an option. I was already doing pretty low carb. I've been gluten-free for nearly 12 years. So when I met my wife, she has a really bad intolerance to gluten. And so part of our relationship was we're just going gluten-free, which we did. So I have been doing that for a number of years. As I said, I've been competitive bodybuilding for about 25 years. So I've been yo-yoing with my weight for a long, long time. And it's taken its probably toll on the metabolic system. So it's trying to find something else as a leeway or a bit where I could actually make, because I want to become as lean as I'm 56-year-old. I am a father of 7. I work full-time
Father of
job. And
7. Wow.
yeah. And my eldest is 30
Wow.
and I have one grandchild. So that's pretty cool. So yeah. I was a qualified chef for 30 years. So food's always been part of my life. Like I left school at 15 and went straight into the hospitality industry. Became a chef. So food has always been there as well. One of the things I do remember was training under a number of my chefs that were really obese. And it's like, I do not want to let myself fall into that trap of just eating anything I want to eat. And so I've been really, really conscious about my weight all over the time. So doing competitions is also a big part of that. So
Because with competitions, isn't there a whole cycle of building mass and then leaning out and going back and forth with?
yeah, there is. And so this is that yo-yo that happens without even sort of yo-yo dieting, but we tend to, it's not a healthy sport by any stretch of imagination on the body's system. But yeah, so you have to build up and you have to cut back down. As I said, I've been a natural bodybuilder all my life. So putting on mass, this is as big as I get. And I say to my clients, they go, I'm scared about putting on what, it's like, I'm a male, I'm eating really well. This is as big as you get, So, but getting to this last competition, I'd put on quite a bit of weight. My mum had been very unwell. She had a hip replacement, ovarian cancer, and 2 strokes within 18 months. Wow. So I had gone away and cared for her and done all her personal cares and that for her to nurse her back to health, and she's back on track. And we've got her eating carnivore too, especially after the ovarian cancer. Wow. So the sugars, we're trying to eliminate as much sugar out of the diet and stuff like that and get her healthy again for us. So, but the whole thing for the carnivore thing was like, this is a great way of getting quality food, feeling well, feeling strong, and I didn't lose any strength in this prep. And that's when I said to Josh, like, hey, we should try this carnivore. Let's try this carnivore thing. We're like 8 weeks out from a competition. What have I got to lose, except a few kilos. So that's how we got onto it. And then my wife was also doing it as well. So we all come on it together. So, right, let's give this a crack and see what happens. And look, the results have been amazing. I got the leanest I ever did. I won the IFBB Mr. New Zealand Natural 50 plus competition here in New Zealand. It's just, so that is like, we can do this as a competitor, not just for general population health, but it also has, I saw, Dr. ShawnBaker's results and stuff like that. He's a strong guy, and a big solid guy. And that was sort of like, whoa, this can be done on a healthy meat-based diet,
Yeah.
So yeah, that's. I had really no health issues other than probably, yeah, putting on the excess weight in that last part of lockdown and stuff like that. Looking after my mum, where you give yourself away, and then you look back and go, oh man, I put on 25 kilos, and how that's the heaviest I ever got, and that gave me a bit of a surprise. Health wise, I've been really pretty good as far as health goes. Mental health had a bit of a hack probably about 3 or 4 years ago. I got quite depressed and had been on 5-HTP and had been on it for quite some time. And I noticed when I started the carnivore thing, it was like I ended up stopped taking my 5-HTP because it was like, I don't need it. I don't feel like I need it. That mental clarity came in, and it was amazing. It was just like, whoa, I've been taking the supplement for ages and really had no need for it. So that was pretty cool.
Well, as a professional chef, you're around food all the time and you're around lots and lots of different food. But
Yeah,
you
lots
also
of
had
food.
this background with your wife having to be gluten-free. So you had this also had this background of recognizing elimination of foods and how it improves health.
Oh, and health and well-being, and that's the thing. And so I like with the studio. So we've got as Josh said, his summit, we've got a private studio. So we do cooking classes and all that now because we bring in, like, my wife's a counselor. So when someone walks through our door, they are a holistic person. You know, they come emotional, spiritual, physical person walk through the door. So you're not just dealing with one aspect, and we don't deal with one aspect because they are a whole. And we've also realized that, you know, if we can get people, especially now with that clarity, if we can get people eating a carnivore-based diet, when they come in for the counseling side of things, their clarity is so much better. Their mental health is improved a stage further than just processing what was happening for them as well. But they have a real clarity about that too. And so it's become a huge part of our business model, is like, if we can get people eating into a more carnivore based diet, even heavier in animal protein, then we're getting breakthrough results so much faster. It's almost like, you know, that missing ingredient that we've suddenly hit this new upgraded, and off we're going, and great rates of knots. You know, people are just having huge successes, even with their mental health, and just breakthroughs after breakthrough. So I don't think we realize how much diet impacts that until we
Yeah.
change that in a way that you can see it. You've had this client coming in and they're struggling and struggling. Suddenly we've been able to get them on a more carnivore-based diet, meat-based diet. And suddenly you're getting breakthroughs that may not have been, you know, they might have been 6 months down the track because the clarity of what they're thinking is kicked in as well. So in that respect, for mental health, it's been a huge game changer for us.
Very good. And for your own personal health, um,
Oh,
what
absolutely.
what do you do?
My skin, and I'm a massage therapist as well. I am forever cutting my fingernails because they just grow so fast. You know, hair, everything. I feel amazing. You know, and it's funny because people say, "Man, you look like you're 40." You know, it's like, I feel great. You know, and that's just life and everything. You know, you've got more energy. You know, as I said, you know, we've got all the kids, so there's lots of stuff going on with them as well. Two of them are vegetarian. It's like, please,
Oh,
please
yeah.
let me help you. Please let me. And both the girls are, you know, are carrying probably an extra 40, 50 kilos. It's like, and when I see that, that breaks my heart. It's like, oh, I've got a key here, guys. If you will just come to the dark side, you know, we could make this happen for you. But it's their journey as well, you know. And being dad,
Yeah,
I can
everyone's
only
journey.
model. Look,
Yeah.
this is what we're eating. This is how, you know, we're looking,
Well,
feeling. You know, so
okay,
that.
Roger, what are you eating exactly?
What am
What's
I
a
eating?
typical day
I
for
eat
you?
steak, mostly steak. Living in New Zealand, all our steak and meat is grass-fed, grass-finished. We are very blessed. It's quite funny. It's like you see some of these guys, and our liver supplementation comes from New Zealand. It's like, hey, that's where I live. I just go down to the supermarket and buy the fresh liver. You know, we are very blessed. The clean green, you know, even some of the protein powders and stuff that they're making, you know, is like the sources from New Zealand milk product, you know. So we don't even realize, we go to the supermarket, we can't find grass-fed finished beef packaging because everything in the counter is grass-fed, grass-finished, and so we don't even have to give it a second thought. That blows your mind when you start looking at other videos and people going, we've got to try and source this grass-fed or whatever. You know, we've got free-range pork, we've got free-range chicken.
Oh, you have free range.
A lot of our
You have free range
eggs are,
pork there.
yeah.
Oh,
So we've got
nice.
a place called Freedom Farms, and they do free-range pork. You know, even our chicken. You know, you look at the size of a chicken drumstick stick from a free-range producer versus our commercial. You know, you're looking at a turkey thigh versus a chicken thigh type thing. You know, it's like, that's a chicken and this is a chicken. Yeah. Really? Yeah. so we are
easy to find.
They're doing a lot of farming and hormonal and all of the goings on that's going worldwide, but we also have the added advantage that we've got the land space. We haven't got the huge population, so free range, you know, poultry and pork is easy to get hold of, you know.
So your livestock there, your ruminants, they have year-round grass, is that right?
Yeah, so year-round grass. If they're not eating grass, they're eating
kind of like your
hay.
climate's like California, probably.
Yeah, so we like, for us, winter can get down to -1 or 2, a little bit of snow higher up, but not really where we are. So our average temperature here is probably, winter is maybe 4 or 5 degrees. Summer we get up to about 30, 32 degrees.
But the cattle,
green.
But the cattle in New Zealand are usually grazing on an area that is year-round grass. Is that right?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And if it's not grass, they're being fed silage or hay. So that's been made during the summer, stockpiled and fed. So as far as I'm aware, there are very little grain-fed beef at all. You know, and our sheep just graze all the time because we've got hundreds.
Yeah, you have incredible sheep there. You have incredible lamb there.
Yeah, and you're a chef. It's simply delicious. And once again, it's like, oh, what am I going to have? And you look at the fridge in the supermarkets, you know, and it's just like meat for Africa type thing, and it's like, the choice. What am I going to have? You know, so we eat a lot of topside steaks for casseroles, or the other thing we do is a rump steak. And we just like whack pieces of that off, throw it in the air fryer for an hour, take it out. It's medium rare, ready to go. It's so easy to eat.
What'd you say you threw it in the air fryer for an hour? What do you mean?
No. So we just take a piece of steak and we throw it in the air fryer and cook it for an hour.
But not for an hour, just for an hour?
For an hour, because we're talking like 2 kilo hunk piece, you know.
Okay,
like,
so put it in the air fryer and low for got it.
Yeah,
So then you have like rare roast beef. Got it.
Yeah, so, and it just comes out, and then we got rare roast beef, and we just slice it up, pop it into a container, and take it to work with us.
Very nice.
We have meat chips, so we just cut it into slices. Then.
Now, do you have biltong there?
Yeah, we do. Yep, and there's a couple of companies that are doing really good biltong. So they pull back the sweeteners and the stuff, the preservatives. We can buy in the supermarkets pork crackling that has no preservatives or anything, because they just basically get the free range pork, do the crackling and send it out to you, you know. So yeah, because we're small too, that doesn't take long to get from A to B. So yeah. So
nice. And so you have steaks during the day. Do you have coffee? Do you eat twice a day?
I got Josh into coffee because he's just a lad. So he's actually one of our 8th children. He fits number 4 in our list of, that's how young he is. So I'm a bit of a father figure, but I've also probably corrupted him into coffee. I've just been I'm doing a Meat Academy program at the moment, and they were saying about coffee, taking it out. It's like, okay, I don't know what I'm going to be like to live without my coffee, but let's give that a go.
It's good to mix things up and just see. You could always drink it again if you want.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's not it doesn't have to be forever thing and stuff like that. But I've been off coffee a couple of times, and man, do I get splitting headaches. You don't realize how addictive it is. And when I come off coffee, man, I don't get grumpy. I just get so tired and going to bed, you know. But yeah, I'm down to 2 cups for the last 2 days. So I'm actually really working on this. Let's get rid of the coffee thing.
Okay, so in the morning you have coffee, and at some point you have a steak.
Yeah, and so I don't do many eggs. So most of my stuff is red meat, and I love liver. And we talked about lamb's fry bacon, which is our liver. I really like kidneys, lamb kidneys.
How do you make your kidneys? How do you prepare your kidneys?
Just I saute them up with just a little bit of ghee, a little bit of bacon, and if I want it saucy, I'll throw in a bit of runny heavy cream.
So you just slice it up and saute them.
Yeah, and just lightly saute them, and so they're still that medium rare-ish too.
Yeah. And
You
that's
make a lot of
lamb
our own
kidney. That's lamb kidney.
kidney. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Chicken livers, I make my own pate. Because of the chefing background, it's like, hey, I can get chicken livers, beef livers, ox livers, throw it all in. Usually slow cook it with some butter, and then puree, some salt. Yum, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's great to have those organs. And with lamb, that means you probably have access to, like you said, lamb kidney and lamb sweetbreads and
brains. Oh my gosh, brains are delicious.
And yeah, you have access to brain, which is really hard to be sourced here in the States.
Yeah, and yeah, sort of even back when Europe was having its
Mad cow.
Yeah, mad cow disease. It's like we still, you know, brain and stuff like that is still really available, and so we've got all this availability, and we just really keep it simple. That for me, that's the easiest part. You know, it's like you can make it complex or you can make it simple, and I'm quite happy to eat for fuel, and that's why I think carnivore works really well for me. It's like it's just simple. I just eat meat, you know, and I've got to the stage that people think I'm weird enough anyway that they go, oh, that's just Rog, you know. So if I'm doing something strange, but yeah, we're very blessed to be in a setting where a lot of people are coming to us and going, what are you guys doing? Whatever you're doing, it's working. So leading by example has been a huge part of what we do and what I do as well, because I'm also a personal trainer, just like Josh, and a massage therapist. But because my wife and I own the facility, we all work and we liaise with all the other clients and stuff that as well. So it's having that support network for those guys to get the results as well. I think it's really, really important. You know, having like-minded people makes a huge difference. And that's where this sort of stuff is really, really important, that there's people out there all over the world doing this. You know, it's taking off just amazingly, even down here in New Zealand, you know, so that's exciting as well.
Yeah, of course. Why not in New Zealand? You have a lot
I know, it's a
great resources.
We're living in the bowl.
Yeah. Do you use dairy food too for you?
A little bit. I use cream and probably some cheese occasionally. I don't overly react to dairy badly at all, but I just am aware that it has its, you know, it can be a problematic, especially with
some people react to it, but some people don't. I eat dairy, it's fine.
Yeah, and I'm open to it, and especially with we do a lot of chicken tenderloins wrapped in bacon with halloumi on them. So when it all cooks and melts, it all stays together, and they're really nice hot or cold. You know, same thing. Just wrap them, put them in the air fryer. You know, 15 minutes, take them out, and they're succulent and juicy. And why wouldn't you want to be eating this stuff? You know.
Yeah, the air fryer is such a nice tool.
Oh, it's revolutionary. Like we get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and we can throw a chicken tenderloin and go and have a shower, come out, and everything's cooked, it's ready to go. We container it up and bring it to work. Or same with the roast beef. It's like we just throw that. It's the simple, you know, and that's what I really like about it. I don't get me wrong, I really like taking time and cooking a really nice steak, and we often do that in the weekends where it's like, okay, now we've got time, we can cook up a really big ribeye, and you know.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I was just gonna say, you know, I use the air fryer for my frozen steaks. For my fresh steaks, you know, I use the cast iron pan.
Yeah, and we're the same. And it's like taking that time and just letting it rest and cook it, and you know, it becomes an art form in itself. Even though you're eating a lot of beef all the time, it's about making that social part of it as well, and not just being, oh, it's another meat dish. And I think if you can do that sort of thing, it just makes that diet easier to follow as well, because it still becomes an entertaining and a social thing. You know, that's, as I said,
Yeah.
we go with our meat platters and stuff like that. It's like we just get little bits of everything, and then we just have this huge grazing platter. And like when I'm talking glazing, we're talking 2 meter long boards just with different cuts of meat, just and presentation's a huge part of that too for us as well. You know, it's like,
Well, you're a
and
chef. Yeah.
we've got a 3 meter counter, so this thing just like lines the counter. We've got people both sides, and we're just going, I'll have some of that. And some of that,
Are
you
you
know?
on Instagram, Roger?
Yes, I am.
So will you
I like
post those meat
training a T-Rex.
What is it?
Training a T-Rex.
Training a T-Rex. And will you post those meat
Yeah,
platters?
so on my Instagram page, we've got all our food photos and bits and pieces and lots of bodybuilding photos and stuff like that. And so yeah, it's about getting it out there. And once again, you know, we say about teaching old dog new tricks. You know, it's really exciting to see Josh coming in at 24, 25, picking up this healthy mentality with food. As an older person, it's been a bit of a switch because we got caught up. Like my grandparents were on the farms, right? So they used to eat what they grew, what they ate,
Huh.
and most of that was animals. So even cooking, I remember Dad saying we used to have lard sandwiches, you know,
Yeah.
because that,
Yeah.
you know. So my grandparents grew up with that. My mum and dad, not so much because we started becoming almost civilized, I think. And it's done a whole full circle again. And now everyone's going back to, well, look what happened. Our grandparents weren't fat people and they were fit and healthy and lived for a long time. And that light bulb starts
Seed
to come on
oils, it's
people.
just seed oils alone. The elimination of seed oils alone makes a humongous difference.
Oh, I know. And that's the thing, is like the dressings, and everyone goes, even on keto, it's like, oh, I had a dressing and it's low carb. It's like, yeah, but what are they using? Canola. And it's like, oh my gosh, you know, just get some WD-40 and you'd be better off.
Yeah. Those joints out with WD-40. Yeah. That's great.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you guys are holding it down under.
We are. We just love what we do. I think the really exciting thing about this is seeing people's lives changed and being able to be the catalysts for that. And especially people that are 60 kilos, so 120 pounds, 200 pounds overweight, or not just heavy, but overweight. We lost 80 kilos off a guy in a year, you know, life changing. He can put his seatbelt on. He can get into the shower. He goes, I bought something. I was going to a competition. His mum sent a photo through. He was 22 years old. He goes, I've just bought my first shirt off the rack. You know, it's just like, that is life changing. And when you can do it in a way where you can be eating good quality and you're not starving. And I think that's one thing I really love about the carnivore thing, is like, you can eat till you're full and you're still going to get a result, and you don't have to be able to move much at this stage.
Yeah.
The move much will come, but for these people who've never thought that they would ever be able to drop weight, you know, everyone sees exercise and stuff like that. Josh has proven it. Our clients have proven it. It's like, if we can get your diet into this position and get your body working with you through the meat-based thing, we're going to get your result, and then the exercise and the fitness can then come back. And these people just, their faces just light up. It's
Well,
life.
yeah, for for people to really feel satisfied, sometimes for the first time.
I know. It's like, and because, you know, no one accidentally gets to that weight either. You know, a lot of our clients come to us because we are the last stop. They wouldn't go to a commercial gym, but they know they need to do something for their health. Then we've got all the health issues of the diabetes and all that we can reverse, you know, just by changing their diets. Like, I've been on medication, and some of these guys have been on medication 15, 20 years, you know.
What's
And
the name of your gym?
so we're Soulful Living. That's what we're called. Soulful Living. That's my little logo.
Soulful Living. Okay. Oh, that's beautiful. Mm-hmm.
So it's a tree with two people in it. The trunk's actually two people. So that's my wife and I.
Nice.
And then all our branches are all our bits and pieces. So a lot of thought went into it.
Nice. So you
but
the whole approach, nutrition.
Yeah, and it's about the all, you know. But in saying that, the carnivore really has given us that extra edge. As far as, even as I said earlier, the mental clarity for people has been a game changer for a lot of work that Nick does as well. And we have a lot of people that will come in the door for mental emotional support, and then come across to the gym, because we've got a gym here as well. So, and vice versa. We can be working with people. We can start hearing stories going, you might want to just go and unpack some of that, because I go home and self-sabotage. I'm trying really, really, really hard, but then I go home and self-sabotage. So if we can tidy some of that up as well, you're on a win, so yeah.
Have you had a chance to visit and flesh out and explore the MeatRx platform?
I've started looking into it, yeah, and that's why I said when I come across some of the videos and that Dr. Baker had done and stuff like that, it's like it's fascinating, and getting into depth is something I've really got a bit more of a passion for, especially when I've been seeing the results over the last, probably for us, 6 months, going, I want to get on this bandwagon and really push it for all it's worth, because it's too easy and it's too good to be true. And I think that's where people go, oh, this can't work. It's like, look, Josh is there, I'm there. We were walking down the street, just going to have a coffee this morning before we came on here, and we saw a client, someone we hadn't seen for ages, and she goes, oh, Josh, what's happened to you? You look amazing. It's that, we're in a small city. We've got probably 80,000 people. So I've been in hospitality 30 years. So you can imagine just about everybody knows me or knows of me or whatever. And same with Josh now. It's like they've seen that transformation, because they go, oh, he's put on a bit of weight, especially with lockdown. And I don't know about in the States, but New Zealand got hammered when we went into the 8-week lockdown.
It's been longer than 8 weeks here, believe me.
Yeah, I know. And once again, we are blessed. Like, we have been walking around maskless and living life. And we went into level 2 a couple of weeks ago, where we had to start tracking where we went. And that was like, oh, I feel like, I've been, there's where am I going with this? But we've got so much freedom here. And I think we take a lot of that for granted. But in saying that, when we did go into lockdown, it threw a lot of people, just because it was so different. And they went 2 ways. They either wanted to exercise or they just ate themselves silly. So when we come back out of lockdown, we then had a business of, I want to exercise, or now I need to lose the kilos, because, or what triggered me to emotionally eat. So yeah, we've got lots of people just searching, and so that's a good time too, to be able to say, hey, this is another option for us for healthy living, and we can reverse lots of stuff with it.
Sounds good, Roger. Sounds like you're doing a lot of good work there, and
we love it. I tell you, we love it.
Yeah, I'm really glad that you found the carnivore diet, and
so am I. Like,
kind of reset things.
Absolutely. And that's the things, like, for me, longevity, like, as I said, 55 years old, I feel amazing. I'm strong. I'm fit. I'm getting PBs in the gym. If I can win bodybuilding competitions, and that's a bonus and towards the thing, but I'm going to be here for my grandchildren and my grandchildren. I want to be, longevity is the name of the game. And if you've got the resources at our back door, literally at our back door, why wouldn't we be using them? And just it's being able to spread that message to other people, going, we've got this, guys. We don't realize how blessed we are to be living in the country we are, to be able to have the quality of food that's just there. And I guess for us, the price is still very reasonable. We haven't had to pay for the shipping to get it, to you guys and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, it's nothing. We can still get home cooked here. We can go to the local farmer and say, kill me a beast,
Well, that's the best, when you can eat your, I'm also living in ranch land. So when you can just eat in your locale and not have superfoods shipped to you, it's great.
Yeah. So your locale is your locale.
Local. Yeah. So I'm really glad to hear your story. It sounds really great. You and Josh are sounds like you're doing some really great things there at your studio, and having some influence on people, helping people. So in this podcast, help people to reaches out to people. So, thanks again. And Carney on.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having us and giving the opportunity.
Yes. All right. Bye now.
Bye-bye.